Hello guys, this is a review on the new Selena series on Netflix. I did read and watch a few reviews here and there, not too many because I wanted to form my own opinion on it. And the main criticism seems to be that the series didn't focus on the star itself, that being Selena, but here's my take on it. First of all, I've watched hundreds of interviews with Selena and them in both English and Spanish, and not once did she fully take credit for all of her accomplishments. She always thanked her family for being that emotional support, for writing and producing her songs, for her father being her manager, her mom helping her out with the costumes. So I think that the rest of the family does deserve to have the light shine on them for once, and it doesn't only focus on them. Well, okay, if you're like new fans of Selena, you probably don't know that it wasn't always Selena, the name that it is now. It was Selena y Los Dinos. I'm gonna mix everything up. The whole Dinos name comes from a group that her father Abraham was in, which was kind of successful but never made it big. So when he had Selena, which is where the series starts. It starts as soon as she's born. Her mother was in the delivery room, and her and Abraham were expecting a boy, and the woman next to them was expecting a girl. So they didn't have names for their babies, and the woman next to her was like, I was gonna name mine Selena. You could have it, I'm not, if you want. And her father looked up the definition on the baby dictionary, the baby name dictionary, and it's Greek for I think the goddess of the moon, which he liked, and he named her that. He knew that she was special. He felt that she wasn't gonna just get stuck the same way that he did, because he felt like she was just something else on another level. And against all odds and against all criticism and judgment by everyone, he just kept going and going. The movie does have some like intimate moments with her and Suzette and Chris Perez. Obviously, I read his autobiography. Well, I don't think it's autobiography because it was more about their story. I'm sure you know about it if you're a fan. If you don't, look it up. Chris Perez. I think it's named To Selena with Love. Something like that. I bought it on Google Play, so it's an ebook, but I'm sure you could find it physically. And there are some differences between the book and the series, because who better to know what happened between both of them if not for them? And obviously Selena's not here anymore to tell us how it was from her point of view, but I really do believe in Chris, and I don't feel like he'd have a reason to make all of this up. It was the love of his life, but he did have some differences with the family. I think legal differences, because he wanted to make a series based on the book, and they said no, you can't do that. And they actually had problems with the book itself. I watched a lot of things. I also watched like a Facebook Live or something like that a while ago with Suzette and AB, and they were talking about how some of the things that he said, for example, the fact that Chris said that in the book that Suzette was the one who told her father about him and Selena, and that's how he found out. But Suzette says, I don't know where he got that from, but that didn't happen. And like, we still consider him like a family member. Our kids call him uncle and stuff like that. So we have very like different views. But I did read that he posted on Instagram that, good luck on the series. I was a fan of you guys before this all started, and good luck. So I guess it's very complicated, because again, I don't want to get too much into this, but he signed off a lot of the rights that he had to Abraham when Selena passed away, like instantly. So I feel like this is just my opinion. Like, I don't know how this went through or the stuff that they took into account when they did this, but I feel like he was stripped of a lot of his rights, because when you're in love with someone, when you marry someone, like, what they do is yours and what you do is theirs. You know what I'm saying? And for him to like write it off like, oh fine, just take it, it just goes to show that he wasn't in it for the money. He was really devastated. He wasn't thinking about this. And I feel like it's really unfair to take advantage of a person that's not emotionally aware and like, you know, stable. I don't know. But anyway, that's what happens. The series itself focuses a lot on the deal making process of it all, and how you had to knock on doors, and especially AB and Abraham, they have to go and make deals happen for themselves. Like Abraham would always say, it's not going to happen to you. If you wait, you're going to wait forever. You have to go out and get what you want, whatever it is, it may be. And they did have to go and almost like beg people, like, hey, if you don't, da 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 da. They were going to sign a deal with CBS for Selena with her first like big studio album and everything. But they refused to guarantee them an English album, and that's something that was really important to them, as well as the creative control of their content. And that's something that I felt like, I was like, Taylor Swift should have watched this. Like, they should have made it a really long time ago, because it just happened to her, you know. If you don't know, just look it up, like Taylor Swift or songs, the rights, whatever, and you're gonna realize that they kind of took them from her, basically. She's re-recording them, so it's a long story, it's besides the point. But the thing is, yeah, it was very difficult to get these deals done for Selena, and we wouldn't have had, for example, I feel like Selena would have had a very great career on her own. I know that they emphasize on this a lot on the series, that she was very nervous about the crossover in English. She is something that she really, really wanted, aside from the whole designing aspect of her life. But this just made her too nervous, because she was used to having her family behind her all the time, next to her on the bus, and she felt like, like maybe I don't even want this as much as I thought I did. I feel that she would have just made it. She did everything, but it would have been different. We wouldn't maybe have como La Flor, you know, if AB wasn't there, we wouldn't have Bidi Bidi Bom, but we wouldn't have a lot of things. We would have something different, maybe something bigger, maybe something smaller, maybe something around the same range, but we don't know that. We got what we got, and the music, the personality, everything that we fell in love with was because of, obviously, Selena, who brought it to life, but because of the composition and the involvement of everyone around her. They supported her, they helped her, they did all of this for her. She did write a few things here and there, but she wasn't like, you know, like, this is my thing, like, I'm gonna write songs and I'm like a boss. So we have to give credit where credit is due. I really don't see where the criticism, I can't credit this person because I don't remember their name, sorry, but she started the review with wigs. And she talked about how the wigs look so fake. And it's true. So whoever said that is very true. The wigs do look very fake. And I wouldn't have noticed it too much if it weren't for her, because I'm not like into the whole weave and extension applying. Like, I don't know anything about that, so my eyes are not trained to like, but it's kind of obvious. Like, sometimes you just see something that's not real. Maybe they should have let their hair grow out, but I didn't know. Like, I don't know how much time they had to prepare, etc. And I know that they could have done a better job. Another thing that I read an article talking about the CGI, and the CGI is also pretty bad. But well, at least I'm not in it for the CGI or for the wigs and stuff like that. Like, you get the image. For me, it's more the soul and the heart of it. Every time an episode ended, I was like, it's cute. It's like cute. I think I knew pretty much everything except for like the specifics in the closing of the deals and stuff like that, and the approach that his father had towards that. But obviously, one could imagine. For example, my opinion on the relationship between Abraham and AB, I feel like, with a lot of people, you know, this is just my opinion. I really mean no offense. Like, much respect to that family. If it's not stressed enough already, Much respect to the family, much respect to Chris, who's also part of the family, and everyone else involved that's not part of the family but friends. But the way that he raised his kids, especially Abby, it reminds me of like Ronda Rousey, the fighter. And I don't know if you know about her, but she was this huge star that I'm gonna do a review on her as well. But she had a loss, and like her world came tumbling down, and she suffered from depression, etc. And I think it's because of the mindset that you have to go and you have to do this and you have to be better. Every time they had a success, no matter what it was, like #1 record, gold record, like we won an award or two, Abraham would always be like, well, that's easy. Where's the next one? Or like, oh, you sold 100. How about 200,000? And stuff like that. He never seemed content. And his wife, Marcella, would always be like, can we enjoy it? Like, can you be happy about it for once? He's like, this is me being like enjoying it. He's on the phone like making another deal. And I feel like that's how people end up falling off the rails. At the same time, I'm not like making him out to be a monster, because I wish I had someone like that in my life to push me, because of all the things that I love to do. I love photography, I love singing, I love dancing, I love acting, I love everything. I can't do anything really well except for writing, but I love it. And if I would have had someone like that to just be there and believe in me, because I always had that drive, like I kind of see where he was going with all of this. You can't be a huge star, you can't be a world champion if you don't have someone to believe and push you through all your doubts. But at the same time, how much of a manager are you as opposed to a parent? Like, there has to be nurturing. There has to be like, you know what, if this doesn't go well, you tried it all, it's fine, life happens. Let me see if I'm missing something. The series ends a little bit after they meet Yolanda. Not in person, but that they contact her because they know that she's running a fan club very efficiently. And the last moment is with Abraham finding out about Selena and Chris, which is something that is different in the book. But there are a lot of differences between the book that Chris wrote, but like I said, it's not that important for, only they know their story. And obviously Chris shared a lot of it, and it doesn't matter if it's not accurate, because they get the gist of it. They get the idea that they were going out behind everybody's backs, and then some people started to know, but they didn't freak out until Abraham noticed. I think that's something very intimate between them that they're gonna hold dear in their hearts forever. And while it's not, like I said, 100% accurate, like I don't know, it's still nice. It's still nice. One of the main things, though, is that Chris said that Suzette, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, I've been talking for a long time, but he said that she was the one who told Abraham about him and Selena, and that's how he found out. And in the series, that's not what happens. But I don't really think it makes much of a difference, because like siblings rivalries here and there, but I feel like they were just like any other brother and sister, or sister and sister, my bad. Like, you have your little angry moments. So if it would have happened that way, it's not like, oh, she's an evil. I know on a lot of the comment section on YouTube, people are talking about like how evil the family is and how they went to the museum. It has terrible reviews. Let me tell you, it has terrible reviews. And I still want to go for myself, because sometimes people exaggerate things. I know that. There are two sides to this story, and I know I'm getting a little bit off, but it's still on the Selena topic, so if you're a fan, stick around. A lot of people say that Suzette and Abraham, like, they're very rude, very condescending, like you go there and they barely greet you, and if they're around they don't want to take pictures. But like I said, there are two sides to this. I feel like there are fans that think that they own the celebrity, that they own the people that are around, and like we demand this and this is what we're getting. And then there are also some celebrities or member musicians that feel like very entitled, like they're like, oh well, we're doing you a favor, like we wouldn't even have to like show you any of this if we didn't want to, so you should be appreciative and get out of my way, like we don't want to talk to you. And there's also the center, and I don't know where in the spectrum like they lie, but I don't know, I still want to like give it a try for myself, because like I said, like sometimes fans could be a little bit pushy, and sometimes musicians and celebrities could be a little over their heads. I grew up a little bit about me. I grew up in Mexico listening to a lot of Selena. We had cassettes back in the day, and there were CDs, but like we had a lot of cassettes, and we didn't have Selena's records, but my family, but they still listened to her, and we listened to her on the radio, and they really liked her, but they just didn't get around to buying her records, I guess. And in present day, like she's still huge in the Latin community. We love her to death. Here in the United States, she's well known. She's not like a household name in, I think, American household, American, how can I phrase this? Like she's not like a Beyonce level in the US, but she's well known, even in houses where they don't speak Spanish. Trust and believe me, because they talk about her in Spanish class. So a lot of people that have no idea what's going on, they know about Selena. And I think she's just gonna grow and grow and grow, and it's gonna keep getting bigger. But I think last year, or like several months ago, I kind of fell into this obsession. And I hate to use that word, especially knowing what happened to her because of that criminal. But I did become obsessed with the idea that she wasn't here. Like, I just wanted her to be here. I was like, why did this have to happen? Like, I don't care if she, like, of course, I would have really loved for her to make millions of records, and, you know, but even if she didn't, even if she went out to live on the land that she bought the property with Chris and had a bunch of babies and never once did another song or another dress, it doesn't matter. But I would know that she's there, and I would know what happened, you know. But to see her life being taken away from her at such an early stage, when she had so many dreams and so many hopes, so many like plans, I just couldn't like wrap my head around it. And I feel like it's kind of when you fall in love with someone, like when you fall in love with someone, for example, when that someone is not interested in you or doesn't like you, you're like, but I really, like, I know that this shouldn't happen, like, this is not, like, this shouldn't be the case, but it is, like, I want this person. I feel like that's the same thing with Selena and me. Like, I was like, I know that I can't bring her back. I know that I didn't know her personally. I didn't. Like, I was born in 1995, but I want her to be here. Like, why? Like, you have no idea how good she was at designing. Like, she was good. She was a good designer. She would only get better. Like, that's what happens with people after practice and a lot of dedication. She could have only gotten better. And they just took it all away. She was an amazing dancer too, and she was only gonna get better. And an amazing singer. She had a lot of things going on, and she made a lot of people happy in her family, her mom, her dad, kids around the block. If you read Chris biography or his book, he talks about that, how she made this kid happy by buying him sneakers and stuff like that. It's like, she had a lot of things to give to the world. But then I came to peace with it, and I was like, I'm just gonna take in everything that she was able to give us. What kind of like helps me out when I hear of the passing of someone, even when I don't know them, is the fact that we're all gonna end up there eventually. So they just kind of hurry a little bit, like, but we'll get there. I hope, like, I remember wishing, I was like, can an angel just come from heaven or wherever she's at and just tell me that she's okay? Like, come on, like, just like, I just need to make peace with myself. But I was like, you know what? Eventually we're all going there. We have a limited amount of time here. Some people have a lot more, some people have a lot less, but let's do what we can the way that she did and leave an imprint and leave something to the degree that you can. Obviously, we're not all Selena Quintanillas, but do what you can with what you have. and be grateful and be happy and keep working for it. I think that's what she left us with, and that's what I'm taking, and I'm keeping it in my heart. She was pretty cool. I really enjoy like singing her songs and dancing to her songs, and just getting inspired by everything that she wore and everything that she made. And she had a really nice personality, really strong personality. Like, that's my intuition, but that she didn't show very much, but she had a strong character. And I think that's it. Like, I know I went a little bit off topic, but we are talking about Selena. The series itself, my rating would be an 8 out of 10. It's a good series. It's not amazing, like, whoa, this is so crazy. But if you look past like the production quality and more into the heart and the purpose of the series, which was to, I feel, shed a light on everyone in the group and how they came to be and everything, they did a very good job. I knew most of these things, but it's still nice to see it play out like that. It was cute. And that's it for me. Thank you for watching.